embedded message.
Salam, meaning peace.
A frantic expression of grief.
أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له والصلاة والسلام على خاتم الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Dear respected brothers and sisters, panelists, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As we start the sessions of this conference, I would like to take a moment to recite Surah Al-Fatiha in honor of Al-Mullah Asghar and his contribution to humanity and the advancements of Shia Islam. In addition, as we gather here today, we also remember all the Shias around the world, their contributions, whether at a scholarly level or at the level of the masses, as our hearts go to our brothers and sisters in Bahrain and the atrocities and oppression they're going through, to the martyrs, to those who gave their lives in order for the name of Shia Islam to survive and for humanity to advance. Let us all recite Surah Al-Fatiha. Well, there's an unspoken rule. You start late, you can't hold me for time. Or as a matter of fact, you have to tell me when to stop. As we start today in this conference, the topic is to address the message of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam and the Holy Quran in modern times. Dear brothers and sisters, the title is carries a lot of weight and has a lot of thoughts embedded in it, and we have to take a moment to analyze the meaning of this title, and specifically two parts of it: Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam and the Holy Quran, and modern times or modern society. What is a modern society? When we want to address modern society, we can talk about it in technical terms, and we can address it from the aspect that how it's linked with the industrial civilization and revolution, etc., etc. Or we can take it what comes to as the meaning that comes first to mind: modern times. We say we are living in the modern times. We are a modern society. And I bet you 100 years ago, 50 years ago, 200 years ago, those who lived at the time thought they were living in a modern society. And those who lived 1400 years ago, in reference to their time, they claimed they lived in modern society. So if we look at it, modern society is more dealing with the now, the state of now. And when we talk about now, in reality, if we look at it, when we say Ahlul Bayt and the Holy Quran and the now, what do we really talk about? Are we talking about a static point of time and we want to address it? Or in reality, what we're trying to address is how, when we say Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam and the Holy Quran, in reality we're talking about religion, and when we talk about now, we're talking about the change. How does religion keep up with the change? when we look at this topic from this perspective, many different topics open up to us, and we need to address this issue because it's a vital issue for our advancements as individuals and as a community. Religion cannot be taken only for the individual, it cannot be taken only for the community. And specifically, the way of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. So, the topic is religion and change. Religion and now. What is the message? What's the embedded message in religion to deal with the now? And how can we deal with it? And let me tell you, it is a dangerous topic. Why? It affects each and every person sitting here. You are the ideas that you carry. You are the ideas that make you. I am influenced by the thoughts and ideas out there. It shapes who I am. It shapes how I think. And therefore, it shapes how I feel, and as a result, it will shape how I behave. Thoughts, feelings, behavior. This is a fact. When we look at each and every single person, it is the ideas that build who you are. And the more these ideas are deepened inside of your mind, you will see it affect who you are. Your behavior will change. A lot of people say they read, it will shape us as a community. Now we go back and ask. When I look at this document, the Holy Quran, the Quran is full of, it's a code. It's an amazing code. This code has if and then. This code has statements that should shape your life. The problem is where? Do we allow it to shape our lives? I can sit down here or actually stand up here until tomorrow and turn blue in the face and say the best lectures and talk about the best of... But you know what? If you're not giving yourself, putting the will to say, let me listen to this boring speaker. Let me just take whatever he says. Listen, you live 80 years, 90, 100, may Allah prolong you over 100 years too. Eternity. Well, maybe a little bit hard, but you know. But the fact is, why don't you test this? Why don't you allow, effectively and actively, to allow religion to play a role in your life? How? It's when you take, and I tell you, the effect and truly when you allow yourself to start thinking about the words. And then, when you think about the words, making life a consequence of this word. Allah says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, in a verse revealed to the Prophet ﷺ at the end of his lifetime as he was giving khutbatul hajjatul wada, Al-yawma ya'isa alladhina kafaru min dinikum. Look at this. Today, those who disbelieve have despaired of defeating your religion. فَلَا تَخْشَوْهُمْ وَخْشَوْنِ. Do not fear them, but fear me. And look at this. اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي. And what? وَرَضِيتُ لَكُمْ. Okay, you're still sleeping. What's going on? وَرَضِيتُ لَكُمُ الْإِسْلَامَ دِينًا. This has to be embedded in our minds. Why? This verse, dear brothers and sisters, see, when we understand the Quran that religion is complete, the Prophet ﷺ did not leave us with something that is incomplete. Now, this, it truly should make us think. So, how do we deal with everyday issue if religion is complete? See, what we should be analyzing and studying and learning the standards. Because, let me tell you, the conference and all the efforts that have been put in the conference, all the conference can do is give you messages. Give you ideas and thoughts. And mashallah, No, very few people have notebooks. So I am assuming all of you have powerful memories. Okay, Dr. Sadler has one. All right. But truly, it is these thoughts that matter. You need to capture them. Why? We're not going to be with you on a daily basis. What we're sending are messages. You either try to expand on them on your own time and then shape your life accordingly or not. Because these messages will become the standard of living which you live according. Your standard of living. We all make decisions in our lives. Every single day, every single instant, we're making a decision. Now, according to what standard? According to what standard? From the moment you wake up, to the instant you stand before the mirror, to the instant you start, how should I look? These are decisions. Believe it or not, the ideas that are embedded, that make who you are, become a standard according to which you make every single decision, whether you know it or not. How should I look? Should I beautify myself? Should I go overboard, average, or modest? This is, you do it unconsciously, whether you like it or not, you just do it. But how do you do it? It's a thought that sunk deep inside your mind and that took hold of your heart and became part of who you are. Now, when you stand before the mirror, it dictates how you want to look before you leave the house. I'm talking about the men, of course. You know how you stand before the mirror and what you think, the thoughts that come through your mind? This is shaped how? Through these ideas. Now let me ask you. I like to pose this question. The Holy Quran. I'm going to give you a test of standard. This test of standard, you take it with you. Don't give me the results of the test. You answer yourself, and then you go and apply it and see how far off from the religion are you. The Quran has at least 6,000 verses. 6,600, something around that number. Usually when something is so deep inside of who we are, it makes who we are, it becomes part of us, we remember it. The last statement that affected you, remember it. The different words that really changed you, remember it. I want to ask you, out of the 6,600 verses in the Holy Quran, how many verses can you claim changed your entire life? Which means what? At the least you know the verse. Oh, that verse changed me. What is it? I'm not sure what it is, but it changed me. You can't. So now go through your memory and ask yourself, how many verses do you really have in your bank of memory that truly affected you because you thought of it so intensely and then you were so shocked, my God, this is... Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullah. O you who believe, be pious and fear of Allah. وَلْتَنْظُرْ نَفْسٌ مَا قَدَّمَتْ لِغَدٍ. And every soul should look at what it has brought forth its tomorrow. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهِ. And be pious and fearful. إِنَّ اللَّهَ خَبِيرٌ بِمَا تَعْمَلُ. God knows everything you do. وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ نَسُوا اللَّهَ فَأَنْسَاهُمْ أَنفُسَهُمْ. And don't be like those who forgot Allah. What happened? They forgot themselves. There's a rule there. You forget Allah, what happens? You let go of a cup, what happens? It falls. You forget Allah, what happens? You forget yourself. This is a rule. This is a law. Now that law should shape your mind, should shape who you are. Why? You should be aware that you forget Allah, you forget who you are. You deviate. You don't care about Allah. You don't care about religion. You don't care about any of the teachings. Why? You're breaking a rule. and it applies to you. You forgot Allah, you forget yourself. So here, we ask ourselves, I want you to ask yourselves, out of the 6,600, how many verses affected you? How many verses shaped you? Maybe if the Quran is the document that is so important in our lives, 10%? 660 verses? Really, 660 verses I know affected me and shaped me? You answer yourself. Okay, that's a little bit too much. 60, which is 1%. 66 verses? I know 66 verses that shaped me and changed who I am? Okay, 0.1%, 6 verses? Now you go to take that test and realize your relationship to the Holy Quran, what it is. You realize that. And let me tell you, if you have 0, don't blame someone else on the day of judgment when you're asked, what have you done with your life? The Quran we gave you, Ahlul Bayt we gave you, seminars, conferences, workshops, what have you done with that? And when you look at, that's at the level of foundation. At the level of application, dear brothers and sisters, in transactions, you'll find the fluidity and flexibility of Islamic jurisprudence. Specifically in Shia Islam, you'll find that we have the subject matter that we need to identify and how our fuqaha and jurists work with that subject matter. Some verdicts would change according to the change of the subject matter. So we have a lot of fluidity and flexibility on that level. And a lot of our transactions and our laws are based on what the customs of the area in which you're dealing with that transaction dictate. So there's a lot of integration with what's around you, with the atmosphere. Alright. Let me now start asking the tough questions. How much time do I have?
About 8 minutes.
With the delay or after, before the delay?
With the delay. Currently.
Sallu ala Muhammad. And they made sure there's no water, by the way. The question that I want to ask, and I'm going to ask a few questions, and I want throughout the conference that we start asking these questions and answering them. Get the discussion going. What do we shape through what? Do we look at the now? We have the now and we have our religion. Do we look at the now and try to shape the now according to religion? Or do we take religion and try to shape it according to the now? This is dangerous here. I need you to truly reflect on this. I have the now right now. Well, you know what? I look at religion and look at what I'm doing. Let me try to fit religion in it. Versus, let me shape the now according to religion. This is where we start asking ourselves. Thank you very much. Sallu ala Muhammad. Dear brothers and sisters, I hear a lot of this going on, this statement. And I'm going to be very blunt. Because if we don't address these questions somewhere, and I know I heard this from Dr. Abdi a lot, as we spend the time together, discuss many issues, that we want Ummah to be a platform where ideas are shared. Well, let me share some ideas and let's rock the boat here. I hear this whole thing, when we talk about individuals, when we talk about ideas, when we talk about scholars, oh, I like him, he is more modern. What in the world does that mean? Really, let's address this issue. He is more modern. Or this is more, what does that more modern mean? Oh, he's such a reformer. He's with the times. Well, it should mean one of two things. Either there was something in religion that when it came to this individual or this time that they came up with something completely new. And wow, that's excellent. Actually, that's called bid'ah. Or it means that, He looked at now and he took religion, fit it in the now. Well, that's not even that great either. Because all we're doing is we're pushing religion, whatever, however it fits, as long as the now takes precedence. That's wrong. That's dangerous. That is changing religion. That's where deviation starts taking place. But how do we reform? A true reformer, dear brothers and sisters, goes back to the roots of religion, because اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم. I completed and perfected your religion. So a reformer, a scholar, an intellectual goes back to the roots, goes back to the foundation, deepens the understanding of that foundation, and then takes it back to the atmosphere and tries to better understand the experience is through that root, and then gives you an answer. And here, dear brothers and sisters, if you look at this, this is something spectacular and amazing and only found in Shia Islam. What is that? Our great scholars, and what I usually call the mainstream, you don't find them having leaps in ideas. You don't find suddenly Shia Islam came up, boom, there's an idea out of nowhere. Oh my God. No way. I challenge anyone. Our ideas that are produced by our scholars are gradual growth of tested concepts and principles that are deeply rooted in our foundation. That is why here we understand the extreme importance of our Islamic seminaries. Our Islamic seminaries, dear brothers and sisters, the way they deal with ideas, you think someone comes up with an idea and there he goes, he throws it out to the world? No. They put it out amongst their students, amongst their peers. They challenge it, they test it, they discuss it. He dies, the other one comes after him, and they talk about it. And one thing I want you to notice, by the way, for the experts in the seminaries, if you look, for example, to the late Ayatollah al-Uzma, al-Imam al-Rahil Sayyid Abul Qasim al-Khou'i, may God bless his soul. If you look at the dictation of his sessions, advanced sessions, you will see some of the ideas. One of the major books that is discussed in the advanced session is called Kitab al-Makasib, for Sheikh al-Ansari. A great book in transactions and in the fundamentals and foundation in Islamic transactions. You see Sayyid al-Khou'i, rahmatullah ta'ala alayhi, his ideas and what he was discussing in the private advanced sessions. And when it comes to the issues of issuing a verdict, it's two completely different things. He does not come and just because he came up with an idea, applies it right away to the people. No. He allows, even though his ideas are being discussed at a very advanced level, what is given to the masses is gradual. It takes 2, 3 scholars and generation of scholars for the idea to be well cooked, for it to be out. And therefore you'll find that all the movement, when you see the shift, when you see the growth of ideas and the Shia Islam, you'll see it's safeguarded. Because keep in mind, dear brothers and sisters, is that like a hint I should stop or what? It must be godly, right? It's a miracle, subhanAllah, salawat ala Muhammad.